Well, guys, the summer movie season, as it always does, has unfortunately come to a close. It's gotta happen, it's inevitable. But with the end of every summer movie season means the release of every one of my top 10 best movies of the summer. Yeah. Anyway, hey there guys, what's up, what's going on? It is Autobot Mike 18 here, back with a top 10 video. That's right, guys, since the summer movie season has ended officially, in my opinion, with the release of Don't Breathe this past weekend. I don't know when this video is going to go up. I'm just shooting a bunch of videos today, and this is one of them. So, because Don't Breathe to me was the last movie this summer, and also that was the last big release for an August weekend. It's the end of August, so moving right into December, I look at that as the fall movie season. So, because we've gone through the entire summer from May to August, and I've seen a lot of movies, I want to put together a top 10 list of my top 10 favorite summer blockbusters that I have seen this summer. That's right. I can't wait to give you guys my picks. I'm really excited. I love doing top 10s when it comes to a yearly base. Like, if you asked me to do a top 10 of my favorite directors, I'd laugh in your face because that's incredibly hard. But a top 10 of my favorite movies of the year or of the summer, I love doing them because I love putting them together. I love ranking them. It's really fun. I have a blast doing it, and I can't wait. Guys, there's just one thing actually I want to just preface, well, two things actually. Two things I want to preface this top 10 with. Number one, my opinion. Okay, this is my biased opinion. These are the movies I had fun watching. That's why they're on my top 10. If you guys didn't like these movies, well, that's what the comment section's for. Leave me your picks for your favorite movies of the summer. Top 10, top 5, whatever you have, let me know down below. And the second thing, as I said, I know the title is my top 10 favorite summer movies of 2016, but specifically, as I said, these are my favorite blockbuster movies, okay? So I am not going to include any films that were given independent releases. So I just wanted to make that clear. The reason why I do that, I always do this with my top 10 of the summer. I leave the independent films off of my list, even though they are summer movies. They're not big blockbuster movies. They're smaller independent movies. And honestly, the indie films we got this summer, Swiss Army Man, Hell or High Water, Southside With You, and The Neon Demon were four that I watched that I really enjoyed. They would have definitely made my top 10 of best movies of the summer. But because a lot of these blockbusters, like for example, Suicide Squad just missed my list. It's number 11 on my list of the best blockbusters of the year, of the summer. Because of that, there's no way Suicide Squad's gonna make my top 10 at the end of the year, which includes every movie. So because of that, this is just for the summer blockbusters, because are you really gonna see something like The Shallows on my top 10 at the end of 2016? No, you're not. You're gonna see Swiss Army Man and Hell or High Water, movies like that, The Neon Demon. You'll see all those movies there. So that's why no independent films. So if you guys ask me, what about Swiss Army Man? What about, you guys know I love those movies. I watched and reviewed all of them. They're just not for this video, okay? So just blockbusters. That's all I'm doing. That said, let's get to it. Now, guys, as I said, let's get into number 11. This film just missed the list for me, and I just dropped the poster, and I now just picked it up. That's never happened to me. Guys, number 11 just missed the list for me. Was Suicide Squad. I had a blast with it. I know a lot of people had problems with it. Yeah, we needed more Joker. We needed, the pacing was very messy. Overall, messy movie, but far million miles better than Batman v Superman. That's all I gotta say. It's fun, it's entertaining. The cast is what saved the movie alone for me. So Suicide Squad, number 11. So let's get into the top 10, guys. Without further ado, let's just do it. These are my favorite movies of the summer. These are the movies I had the most fun watching in the theaters. For these reasons that I'm going to give you, they're my favorites. Coming in at number 10, The Shallows. That's right, guys. The Jaws ripoff, as we all labeled this movie when we saw the trailer. I thought this one was going to suck. I thought it was going to bomb so freaking hard, but it actually didn't. It was actually pretty fun and entertaining. It is a lot smarter than you think it's going to be, and then it's a lot smarter than it even thinks it probably is. So that's saying something. Guys, I had a blast with The Shallows. It works very well as a survival story, a really compelling survival story. The thrills are there. You get to look at Blake Lively for an hour and a half. And she's not a total idiot. Double thumbs up for that. She's actually a smart character. And they didn't give us any unnecessary characters or subplots because they knew what to focus on in this movie. So, good job. It also looked incredibly gorgeous. So, The Shallows, number 10. I had fun with it. Coming in at number 9, a sequel. Sequels are, yeah, they're okay. But this one was actually really good. And it's a horror sequel. It's got some big shoes to fill. So that said, guys, The Conjuring 2 comes in at number 9. I really enjoyed the first Conjuring from James Wan. It's one of my favorite current horror movies. He's one of my favorite horror directors working today. I was so ecstatic when I heard he was coming back to direct The Conjuring 2, because 90% of the time horror directors don't do that kind of thing. So when I heard he was coming back, I was excited. I knew it was going to be good, and The Conjuring 2, without a doubt, was very good. I love this movie, not because it's scarier than the first, because I honestly think the first one is better and scarier, but what worked so well about this one were all the characters. I think the characters, especially the characters of, played by Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, who are brilliant in this movie, they're a lot more well-defined. The Warrens, Ed and Lorraine, they're a lot more well-defined, they're a lot more developed, they're given a lot more to do, and they have a lot of really human moments with these characters that made me really feel for them, and made me find them really compelling, made me say, yeah, I want to see these characters get out of this mess that they're in, trying to protect this family. That said, the movie looks great, it's shot gorgeously, and there are some creepy moments. It has that unusual atmosphere, that creepy atmosphere that James Wan always does a great job with his movies, so Conjuring 2 gets number 9. It was really good. Coming in at number 8, I binge-watched almost all of the movies in this series just so I can watch this new one at the end of July, and I was pretty happy I did. Jason Bourne is number 8. I had a really good time with Jason Bourne. I don't think it's as good as The Bourne Identity, The Bourne Supremacy, and even Ultimatum, although I gave this and Ultimatum the same scores. I know, I wasn't a huge fan of Ultimatum, but Ultimatum's probably overall a stronger movie. But what made Jason Bourne work so well for me, despite some unnecessary secondary characters and subplots that weighed the movie down a little bit, Jason Bourne for me worked so well because it started to slowly break out of that formula that I think the Bourne movies get sucked into. There's still a lot of similarities between this and the other Bourne films, but it's finally becoming its own thing and different from the others because it delved more into Jason Bourne's personal life, which I really liked. I thought the antagonists were a lot more fleshed out in this one, as opposed to, instead of just having a one-note sniper character, the sniper character actually matters in this movie. That's what I love. Matt Damon, it was great to see him back in the role just in general. Paul Greengrass, it's great to see him come back to the series because I know a lot of people bitched about the Bourne Legacy with Jeremy Renner and whoever directed that one. And I think that the action sequences are great. The tension, it's there. It's exciting. It's thrilling. And in my opinion, the Vegas car chase scene is one of the best scenes of the summer. So I really enjoyed it. Jason Bourne, there you go. Coming in at number 7 is my most recent addition to this list. I just watched this movie, and it's for sure one of my favorites of the summer. It was a very surprising thriller that could have easily sucked but didn't. Number 7 is Don't Breathe. Don't Breathe, guys, works so well because its premise is so different. It could have just been your average standalone home invasion thriller, but it wasn't. It was a lot better than that. It overcame all those cliches that I thought it was going to be burdened down with, and this actually turned out to be one hell of a rousing, disturbing, disgusting, and really tension-riddled thriller throughout. There was always obstacles for these characters. I was always on the edge of my seat. I always got creeped out. The jump scares in this movie are actually good jump scares. They work very well for this movie, so I gotta give the movie praise for that. Stephen Lang killed it as the blind man, and Fede Alvarez did a very good job directing this movie. Don't Breathe, definitely one of the creepiest movies of the year, one of the best horror thrillers of the year for sure. Coming in at number 6, I don't understand why this movie got so much hate this summer. I really, really don't. It really upsets me that it didn't get a lot of love at all. Number 6 is X-Men Apocalypse. I know. I really enjoyed Apocalypse. If you guys didn't like it, maybe I could see why. Honestly, all I think they needed to do was cut some of the characters they had in this movie out. That's really it, and it would have been a more focused, much more tighter film. That said, everything else was great about this movie. The pacing was great, the cast was great, the action sequences were really cool and fun, there's great cameos, there's a lot of... The world of the mutants just keeps growing and growing. I can't wait to see where they go with the next one. I thought Oscar Isaac was great as Apocalypse. I loved the... that they're going further and further with this 80s, with this group of the Bryan Singer X-Men, not the Bryan Singer X-Men, the X-Men First Class X-Men with Fassbender and James McAvoy. I really like where they're going with them, and I thought that this was a really great follow-up film to Days of Future Past. Not as good as Days of Future Past was, but still really good in its own right, so... I don't know why everybody hated it. I really enjoyed it. I had a blast with it. Awesome action sequences. The ending was cool. I really had a blast with X-Men Apocalypse. Awesome. Really, really underrated in my opinion, because it gets way too much hate than it deserves. So that's number 6. Coming in at number 5, we're at my top 5 now, guys, is one of the better comedies we've had this summer. Shane Black's return to form with The Nice Guys. That's right, guys. The Nice Guys was great. I loved this movie so much because of how great the chemistry was between Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. Because when I saw none of the trailers did it for me. None of them. I was like, I don't know if I buy these two together in this comedic duo. And I ended up really buying it. It works as a 1970s period piece, as one of those like bumbling idiot mystery films where these guys have to crack the case essentially and figure out what's really going on. And I think that the comedic chemistry between Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe is the best part of this entire movie. Ryan Gosling is a comedic revelation though in this movie. The dude's hilarious. He's unpredictable. He's hysterically funny. He does so many crazy things in this movie, and it was really, really worth it. Shane Black did a great job directing this movie. The soundtrack was great. I had a lot of fun with The Nice Guys. Definitely would recommend it if anyone hasn't seen it. That's The Nice Guys. Number 5. That was number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have quite possibly the raunchiest, the most disturbed movie of 2016 so far. What are you going to do, guys? It's talking food. Guys, Sausage Party is number 4. I know. I enjoyed it. I love Seth Rogen movies. What do you want from me? Shoot me. I really had a blast with Sausage Party. This movie is so ridiculous and over the top and just so absurd in every single way possible. The ending scene alone has my vote for one of the best scenes of the year, one of the funniest endings to a comedy I've seen, and I don't know how long it's been. I just love the concept alone that they were going with this film. I loved what it said about religion and just faith and just believing in the afterlife. I love it. It's really smart, really sickly funny, but it's great. The voice cast is great. I had a blast with Sausage Party. One of the funniest movies of the year. One of the only times I just consistently laughed out loud. Swiss Army Man is probably the funniest, but Sausage Party, man, woo, really good. Coming in at number 3, I bet most of you guys either didn't see this one, didn't bother to see this one, or just completely forgot about it. I didn't. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, not only one of the best of the summer. Number 3 is a thriller, but I loved it. Money Monster. That's right, guys, Money Monster. I hope you guys didn't forget about this one. Jodie Foster's direction was fantastic in this movie. It works so well as a compelling thriller with really interesting characters that the film just delves further and further into as it progresses. It's definitely one of those popcorn thrillers you just can't help but just be engaged. You can't wait to see who's involved in the crisis and everything in the end, and who's really the main antagonist and everything. It's just really, really entertaining, thrilling writing, and I really fell into it. I love what the film is trying to say about poverty and how messed up the distribution of wealth is in society, and the economy is just a disaster, and how the little people are always getting screwed. I really just loved it. I know some people had found cliches with it. I honestly didn't. I found it genuinely genuinely suspenseful and genuinely high stakes throughout the entire thing, and that's why Money Monster really worked for me. I thought Jack O'Connell was amazing. I thought George Clooney was great, and I think Jodie Foster is a director who really needs to be looked at, because I think she did a great job directing this film, and I can't wait to see what she does next. Money Monster is great, told an amazing, really compelling story, and that's something a lot of these summer movies lacked, which is why I loved Money Monster. Coming in at number 2, my top 2. I love both of these movies. My number 1, though, was always destined to be my number 1. My number 2, I had to put it at number 2, and it deserves to be number 2. Number 2, guys, childhood. Number 2 is Finding Dory. Of course, Pixar is going to make the top 5 of the summer. No questions asked. Guys, Finding Dory is a movie that, yeah, you could easily say, did that really need to be made? Nah, not really. But I don't look at it that way. I loved just seeing these characters back on the big screen. That's honestly all I needed, was to see the continuing ventures of Nemo, Marlin, and Dory. Dory specifically getting the top billing in this one, and that's what I really enjoyed about Finding Dory. It was sweet. It was touching. I loved what it said about mental illnesses and everything. It's beautifully animated, of course. It's freaking Pixar. What more could you expect? The voice cast is incredible, and I loved seeing the adventures that these characters went on in this movie. I found it entirely engaging and really entertaining throughout the entire thing. I've seen this movie twice in the theaters, and I had a blast both times I watched it, because Finding Dory meant so much. Finding Nemo meant so much to me when I was a kid. So to see these characters back just means all much more to me, and that's why I loved Finding Dory, guys. Deserves to be number 2, and it's not just because of nostalgia, so everybody shut up. I love Finding Dory, so there you go. Guys, I'm wearing the shirt. You guys all know what number 1 is. In terms of straight up summer blockbusters, this is as good as you're going to get. The only summer blockbuster that I gave a 10 to this entire summer. That's right, guys. I'm wearing the damn shirt. I've been wearing it this whole time. I wore it for a reason. Number 1 is Captain America Civil War. Civil War was my second most highly anticipated of the year, actually. Finding Dory was my number 1. And I didn't think Civil War was going to be as good as The Winter Soldier, actually. I was like, it's going to be good, but there was nothing about it that I was like, yeah, that's going to be the best of the Captain America movies, best of the Avengers movies, and it is all that. I can confidently say that Civil War is the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, by far. It's one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. What more do you want from me? I love that this movie tweaked the conventions of the superhero genre so well, because we didn't just get that standalone, straightforward superhero movie. They gotta fight some alien monster at the end of the 3rd act, and that's the big battle. It's literally just interpersonal human conflict with two sides with different ideas, and that's your superhero movie, and that's why I love Civil War. Characters come first in superhero films. Story and plot also is highly important, and both of those worked so well with this movie. I love the drama that it tackled. I love the themes of vengeance that the film tackles. The action itself was amazing. The Russo brothers know how to direct a damn action scene, and that is why Captain America Civil War is my favorite film of the summer, and currently one of my favorite movies of the year. Guys, do not be afraid. You are definitely going to see this at the end of the year in my top 10. No questions asked. Civil War is the best movie. Best summer blockbuster 2016 by far, Civil War. Guys, there you have it. That's it. Those are my picks for my top 10 favorite movies of the summer 2016 movie season. Guys, we had a lot of great ones this summer. We also had a lot of duds. I don't think this summer was nearly as good as last summer or even as summer 2014. Both summers had way better movies than this one. We had a lot of duds. We had bad ones. We had stinkers. We had Warcraft. We had Independence Day Resurgence. We had a couple of stinkers. We had Free State of Jones. We had forgettable movies. We had Free State of Jones. We had BFG. We had Legend of Tarzan. That didn't really do much. Ghostbusters. Meh. That said, these are all the best of the summer, in my opinion. So guys, I leave it up to you now. I want to know what your guys' picks are for your favorite movies of the summer. Let me know down below in the comments. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave me your thoughts, your opinions, your comments down below. And I'll see you guys next summer. Bye.